and production number Barramundi vintage issue. Take 4711. All quiet on the set please. Cameras on and action. Oh, damn it. Welcome to the totally awesome fishing show. The best fishing show you can get on YouTube. And I'm going to take you guys down under. We're going to go to Australia. Vintage footage to catch some barramundi. Great species for lures, fly fishing, whatever you want, they seem to eat it. How do you know it's vintage footage? This moustache is grey now, with worry about making you guys films. Back then it was black. Also, the shorts I'm wearing in this footage are probably illegal now. I get arrested if I wore them, but back then it was all the rage, all the fashion. Even the guide had them on. Anyway, crack on, let's get down to Australia, see if we can catch a few fish. Cairns, Australia. In Queensland, it can be really hot over there, but I was over there trying to catch marlin, but I got cycloned out, couldn't get out for them, so I decided to target the barramundi. Got hold of a guy, I think his name was Barry at the time, it's so vintage I can't remember, but we soon get in some action on the barramundi, or what a fish it is.
The dark flies usually work the best, but some of your Dalberg divers, and this is a fly that was popularised as a bonefish fly, but in a smaller form. It's a weight forward 9 floating sinking, and the last 10 foot sinks extra fast. It's just a new one, a number 4, and I'm not even sure that they're on the market yet actually. But I like to get down. Sometimes I use a popper off the floating sinking line as well by using a long leader off the end of the fly line. It's a very versatile line for barramundi.
For surface poppers you use what, a floating line all the time?
I like a bass bug taper for surface poppers. 7 weight forward 7 floating, weight forward 8 floating, bass bug taper. So you can put some of those bulky bass bugs. I've got quite a box full of them there today to try out a little bit later on.
The barramundi is in the family order of perchiforms, that's how I'm pronouncing it anyway, and I guess that's related to our own native British perch. It's a species that's almost certainly related in some way to the African Nile perch, and that fish can grow to an enormous size, reputedly over 500 pounds. I've caught the Nile perch, I know what they're like, got them from Lake Victoria, but I've never caught a barramundi before. I've also heard them called an Asian sea bass, and they're great scrappers. And I think the reason for this is because they can tolerate both marginal salt water and fresh water. The barramundi is a laterally compressed fish and has an enormous mouth, with the hinge of the jaw running back behind its eye. It loves rivers, estuaries and lagoons, and it's a tropical scrapper that can tolerate water temperatures as high as 30 degrees C.
One barramundi and a nice fish too, on the jig. I don't believe how lucky I am, but I'm going to show you this jig in a minute. It's actually opened up. Let's just take a look at this fish. You see his dorsal fin? Ouch, it's still bit my thumb. Now we're going to slip him back. There he's gone. Okay, what I want to show you is, look, the clip had absolutely come undone. That lure could have come off at any time. Now that previously must have either come off when I had one of the other fish, or maybe I didn't even check it, but it just goes to show how lucky I was there. That fish could have taken that off as clean as a whistle. I could have lost him. We're fishing barbless hooks here anyway, but obviously if I can do it, I'm going to close the buoy right up. I think what's happened with fish has crushed the spool out of shape. There we go, he's ready to use again.
It's a species that loves to live in the rivers, but it also moves down to the tidal estuaries to spawn. How big do they grow? Allegedly 6 feet long. So I had a run up to the Daintree River with one of the guys to see if I could get hold of one of these monsters. It wasn't great weather, but what scenery. Just going down the river on the Daintree. It's about twice as wide as the Thames, and just throwing lures and plugs close into the margins, around the snags, anywhere we thought these big barramundi would be. And first fish up, that's a jack of some species, because obviously they can run up the rivers as well. Great scrappers, not what we were after, but come on guys, let's face it, it's a lure caught fish, and that is a really powerful predator. And it wasn't long before I got my first Daintree River barramundi, but it wasn't a monster I have to say, but it was a barramundi from a different area I'd never been to before. Up he comes. I don't know, fish probably about 3 pounds, but caught on a jig. However, I couldn't get away from those impoundments, those lakes, and I was soon back there fishing, jigging away, popping whatever lure I wanted. The species are allegedly adept at avoiding commercial fishing nets, so they are best targeted by anglers doing recreational fishing. And that means rod and reel. Hey, here come the totally awesome fishing team. Just as here in Britain, we have lakes and gravel pits that are filled full of fat carp, so the barramundi are stocked into what the Aussies call impoundments. It's the same thing, the fish can't go anywhere. They also feed noisily at night, coming up underneath anything on the surface and engulfing it in one jaw-snapping assault. You can actually hear them bust on the surface as they engulf baitfish, frogs and even small birds. And the barramundi is a good eating fish, though the free-range variety eats better than the impoundment fish. Well, at least that's what I'm told.
The bust of this one, absolute corker. Really big barramundi. Look at the size of his mouth there. They got sharp edges to their gills around here. Got the dorsal fin as well, but that's a real corker. I'm going to slip him back, go to the fish, put him in the water. Aye, what's up? He's gone. Good fish. See if we can get another one. That was on a surface popper. We're here pretty early in the morning. It's about, sun's been up about hour and a half, 2 hours. And our guide Barry said try this little stick bait which he'd pop across the surface. We worked our way around the top 2 lakes. Nothing, so we've just come on the inside here and there's a snag there.
You just see the snag. You just pop the stick bait right past the edge of the snag and the fish love it. They love structure, anything like structure. They're laying amongst just old broken branches and trees and overhangs and that sort of thing. Then I moved up to this next lake, which was the top lake, which previously I'd fished last the week previously, and had some good fish there at about 5 pounds on them. We just walked up, we were finishing off with the video, and I said to Hilary to walk up. I just missed a fish there. It was right by an inflow here, so it's a pretty noisy place to fish.
We got one. Using some dense weed there. Come on. Yeah, still a fish there, he's covered in weed. Put it in a pocket, took it on the drop, right in a pocket of weed.
They are the ultimate species for lure anglers, as you can take them right off the surface on popping lures and a bait casting rod or even a fly rod.
Let's get the barramundi lit. Got him. 4 pounds I guess. We'll just slip him back. They got no teeth, so you can just pick them out like a a black bass. That fish caught me. And these are what we're using. We're using a little graphite spinning rod, like a bonefish rod. This one I borrowed off the guide. I don't know what it's called. It's called a Tawny Special. It's one of Jack Erskine's from Bass Pro Shops. It's a really delightful little rod to use. Perfect for bonefish. I enjoy that. We're on 6 kg line here. I think this is Jack's line as well. His own line he's had manufactured. We've been using 30, a leader of 30 pounds down there, about, not even 6 feet, about 4 feet. Well, that's been chewed back by so many barramundi now. I chopped it off and I put a piece of 50 on there. Terminating just this tiny little clip so we can change rigs. Well, we've come up to this Topwater. The other lads, 2 lads, Barry the guide and Ron from America, have been starting to catch them on jigs down the bottom lake. So I've been fishing with Hilary. We must have had 25 barramundi now, to somewhere around 10 pounds. So we've just come up this very weedy top lake, seeing what we can do is jing clear, but here we're only getting about half the retrieve we would do normally because we've got all marginal weed in here. However, the barramundi are just laying in little pockets and I'm trying to pick off the odd fish doing that. We shall persevere and see if we can pick up a nice big one, about 5, 6, 7 pounds. Yeah, what we're going to do is just down here there's an inflow pipe. Comes from the dam further up. I think there might be a fish laying out from there. So let's take a walk along and see if we can't pick one out. I'm going to be retrieving in little jigs and jerks just to make this flutter and go down, flutter, go down like this. And for some reason these are taking absolutely almost to a T. Every fish is taking on the drop. But the problem we're coming up against here is we haven't got the depth to let it drop too much. So I'm not sure, once you've got weed on it, it's no use at all. However, I need to get close to the bottom. I think I've got weed on. Once we've got weed on the lure, barramundi won't take it. You see I'm just flicking this rod just to give the lure some action. Damn, we lost one right close in there. Fish about 2 pounds, I saw it flash behind the lure. Let's take another shot, a bit to the left. The other day I picked a good fish up about 6 pounds in here. I want to fish near the bottom, but I don't want to let it go too deep. So it was a bit of a gamble. If I'm too near the surface, got it. Oh yeah, that's a better fish. Boy, he really nailed me hard, that one. He's on top. Come on. I'll get him wrapped in weed, I expect. But of course, he'll probably come off now and I'll get a ball of weed on the end. Just like... There was a fish on the end. I promise you there was a fish on the end. Come on. I want to keep him tight. And this is the biggest fish we hooked today. Whether I'm going to come back with a ball of weed, I don't know. So this is a good fish. Look at the size of this. Jesus Christ. He's in the weed, so I'm going to take a shot before I get it. This is a big fish. Come on. This is a lot. This is a big one. Holy shit. This is the biggest barramundi I think I've caught so far. Well, I did try and tell you we're going to catch fish there. I'll pick him up without getting my hands raising the pieces. Look at the size of this one, guys. That's what Aussie fishing is all about. Big fish. He has absolutely digested this lure. I don't want to fish this, has got to go 15 pounds plus this one. Oh, got it. I don't want to get my fingers hooked as well. Let's just take a serious look at this. This is the biggest barry I've caught. We spent 4 days to pick one up this size. I've been casting too close to it, I think. Went a little bit in the open water. But what a beauty. What a beautiful fish. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Second cast after that big one. Whack. Another good fish. Oh, yes. Still in weedy water. Try and get that fish here. Try and get the fish here. Just stay on the fish. Come on. Another good fish, this one. Stay on. Another fish got to go, 6 pounds or so. I'm going to take a couple more casts here, see what we can do. He's eaten half the weed, but by the look of it, you could do it. There we go, voila. And behind me. Oh, nice jumper. It's about a 4.5 pound fish. But you see his tail fin, very, very broad, and up here. See all the spines on that dorsal fin, and up near his mouth, the edge of the gill covers are like razors as well.
But you might not be seeing it.
Get down behind Bob and see if you can get a picture. Can you lift him out for a second, Bob, for a picture? Or? Just move out a second, Bob, just so I can get a picture of him measuring.
86 centimetres is the biggest one we've caught out of here.
Really? He'll get behind it. Let me just get a shot in there. Okay. Hey, Barry, hold it up for you. What
Just got to cradle the stomach because otherwise you tear their gill plates.
Okay.
I'll get it in the water.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Then slide him back.
let's release. Poor old girl. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on.
Hold him there. Got it.
86 Celsius.
That one will only be about 5 pound or 6.
Come on, baby.
Beautiful fish.
Oh, they're pretty tough. Right. I can release her up here where the water's clear.
Okay.